Good evening, everyone. I'm so excited tonight to have Rami Bar-Niv here, who is someone that I had met years ago and had no idea what an accomplished pianist and composer he is. I had an amazing lesson with him. In fact, I'm featuring it in my new little book, my handbook called Power and Control on the Keyboard. He taught me an invaluable lesson on how to power my left hand in one of those crazy Chopin pieces, the Revolutionary Etude. I used to get so tired, and the lactic acid build up on my muscles would be tense, and I'd try to power through it, and I'd be hurting myself. And Rami showed me an amazing trick that just turned my world around. So, welcome, Rami. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my God. I also found out by reading your autobiography, by the way, which is amazing. Where is it now? I want to show it to people. Blood, Sweat, and Tours. I absolutely love the title. Blood, Sweat, and Tours. I just read this on the airplane ride down to Kentucky to see my family, and and just it's a marvelous book. I highly recommend it. And one of the things that I learned about you that just totally fascinates me is that when you were promoting yourself and you were very active in doing that, you were an incredible, worked very hard at your career. And one of the things you did is you had three concertos under your belt, but when you advertised to the potential venues around the world, you said, I could do these 10. And so that was very brave. And of course, you were so talented, you could pick up a concerto just like that, where someone like me would probably take 3 years to learn it. And so I was just impressed with the boldness of that and the bravery of it.
Well, it's something like in between. It wasn't 3 years to learn it, but it wasn't pick it up just like that either.
Mm,
Because when they book you, there's always at least half a year or a year ahead. So,
yes, yeah. Well, that was great. A wonderful biography. Now, what I do like, just for the sake of our audience, I know some of these questions, but I'd love to ask you, tell me about how you got into the whole world of music. Were you from a musical family? How were you exposed to music as a little child? Tell us more about that.
well, when I was 5 years old, I started the piano. My mother was my first piano teacher,
Hmm.
but I wasn't. First, they meant to teach my older brother. He's 4 years older,
Mm.
but he took one day of piano and said piano was for girls, and so I was next in line. So that's when I started the piano, and there was music in the house. My father played the violin, and my
Oh.
mother played the piano and
Hmm.
taught the piano.
Mm.
So that was the beginning, the very beginning.
I laugh at that too because I used to play a church piano, for 4 years for a Baptist church in Melrose. And one day a little kid came up and I said, I could teach you how to play the piano because he was fascinated. He said, "Oh, Dad told me that boys don't play the piano." So I thought that was, yeah, very sad that he was told that he couldn't play the piano because it's only for girls. I thought it was, I was a little insulted, but at the time I thought, well, I'm not going to get involved in that one. But yeah, so that that's and you basically love the piano. It was your thing, and you basically went really far with it. Um, and so, how did you decide to commit your life to it? I mean, was that a big decision for you, or was it so obvious that even at a young age that you thought, I'm just going to be a musician no matter what?
Uh, I guess it was obvious. I just did it and liked it, and it seemed
Hmm.
to go well. Not easy, but well. I mean, you
Hmm.
had to work hard,
Yeah.
but that what it looked like. I would like to be doing. So that's what I
Hmm.
did.
When were the first
I,
public performances for you? Were you doing it at a fairly young age?
yes, yes. I think. Well, the way my mother was teaching was always. To perform. But
Mm.
you learn a three-finger song, you perform it, and
Boop, boop, boop,
you learn
boop, boop,
something
boop.
more complex, you perform it, and
Yes.
also always memorize and perform it. So it was right from the beginning,
Ah.
memorizing, performing. And so anytime, any age, I performed, and every time the performance were like for more people
Mm.
or different places, bigger places, different
Mm.
venues, and stuff like that.
What was the first, as a child or as a young adult? What was the first big audience that you had? Was that a fond memory for you, or were you a little scared at the time, or you were looking forward to it? And what was your attitude? A big audience.
I can answer that. I was never scared. I always looked forward to it and always loved
Oh.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I can't think of what was my first, larger performance. And I also don't know what to consider such. But I can't think of anything, but I performed all along at any age,
Yeah.
uh, you know, a young teenager, and then and more and more and more.
I also enjoyed your discussion about you've worked you've played in so many places in the world, and some of them were far out in the middle of nowhere. And a couple of times you were challenged with what you called a PSO, piano-shaped object. And I actually had that experience once myself. I was paid $300 to play for 45 minutes on a Bosendorfer. I was very excited about it, except when I went to go to it, it was in bad shape. Keys were getting stuck to the bottom of the bed. As I played, I had to lift them up and continue to play, and it truly was a
Oh
very
yeah,
interesting experience. So
yeah, that's a
yeah,
very special technique to be able to pick up the stuck keys while you play.
while you're playing.
even even my grandchildren adopted that technique
Uh-huh.
when I teach them the piano too.
And I love one time you played and the actual harp underneath the lyre with the pedals fell out, and you had to play the rest of it without any pedals at all. And they said it was one of the best Mozart performances you ever did. So I thought
Yes,
that was great.
yes. Uh,
So how did you get into composing? Because that's a whole different thing than playing the piano.
as a young child, I actually like. Well, first I must say, I never liked practicing.
Hmm.
Uh, but I liked doodling. I liked sitting at the piano and doing anything, playing songs
Yes.
by ear.
Ah.
And
Uh-huh.
later on, of course, I learned by myself to read chords and charts and stuff like that.
Ah. Yeah.
Uh, but I liked always to play by ear and songs, and
Hmm.
at the same time, I like to make up my own songs.
Yes.
So, but that was as a child, and I never developed it seriously, or even if I tried to write pieces for the piano, I never finished them, and even if I did, it wouldn't be anything to write home about.
As a child.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
child, teenager, I never took it seriously until much later in life,
Mm-hmm.
because then I was busy with, my performance career,
Yes. Yeah.
and so it just came to me. I don't know what age 40 or something like this. I'm just
Hmm.
making up a number, but in the
Yeah.
middle of
Yeah.
of the life, that maybe I would like to compose something, and
Oh, wow. So that was later in life. It wasn't like in college or something. I thought maybe you were learning composing in college or
no,
something.
no, no. It was later, and
Oh.
actually, I first started with some songs, some Hebrew songs that I
Hmm.
sent to festivals here, and then some won prizes, and some were performed by all the popular singers
Hmm.
in Israel. And then one day I said, "Oh, this song, my uh, Uri Tzafon, that was sung by this duo, Israeli duo, that were hailed as the Israeli Simon and Garfunkel."
Hmm.
And they sang my song, and I said, "This song sounds like it could be a good piano piece." And I turned it into a piano piece and called it Toccata. So
Aha.
that was my first piece, and then I got the I got going with composing.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
liked what came out, and I started composing more and more pieces for piano, and then added other instruments. Well, first the close instruments that my children played,
Hmm.
clarinet, trumpet, and then other instruments that my grandchildren played. So it developed, and singing and singers, and of course I wrote a song cycle, which I feel is quite my a very strong piece.
Yes, Longing for My Father, which, by the way,
Yes.
was based on poetry by this famous guy. His name escapes me at the moment, but you based it on poetry, right? That.
Yes, yes. Uh, they asked me to write it for a concert tour uh, that had to do with the Holocaust in
Mm,
Hungary,
mm.
and then the tour was cancelled
Oh no.
because the regime was changed there, and they didn't want to host Israeli artists.
Oh my
But
God.
the music was written and performed so many times by so many singers, and then I orchestrated it too. So it's soprano and piano, and then the soprano and chamber orchestra, and it's been done all over the world many times. That's
Hmm.
how I have lots of different recordings with different singers doing it.
Mm,
Oh, and also I didn't want anything to go to waste. So I also made it as a concert piece for any solo instrument, like a one clef instrument
mm,
with a piano accompaniment. So
hmm.
it's all from the song cycle or from the 7 songs.
Excellent. Well, let's listen to some of your material. You have so much out there. We'll only be able to do a little sampling of each going forward here, but let's share the screen here and show some of these wonderful songs. And I'll start with this one. Now, this is played by two young girls. Are these students of yours by any chance?
They're not, and they're sisters. And I came to Florida to give master classes, and then one of the piano teachers surprised me with her students playing it.
Oh my God, that must have been wonderful. Excellent. So
Yes.
tell us about the Shmata Rag. I'm not sure I'm saying that correctly. What's the story behind this?
Well, Shmate in Yiddish, which is the Jewish language,
Hmm.
means rag.
Oh,
So,
okay. So it's a rag
and
rag.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And in New York City, they used to call the Schmate district, for the garment district, they used to also
Oh,
call it the Schmate district.
yes.
And I wrote rags, like 4 or 5 of them. I can think now. They're all
Uh-huh.
there on YouTube. But
Mm,
and somebody challenged me and said, "Why don't you write a Jewish rag?"
I love it.
And I said, "Jewish rag? I don't know." And then I started thinking. And then I did it.
So
So
what
I
makes it a
composed it.
Jewish rag? Is there a certain kind of chord structure for that, or rhythmically, or melodically? What makes it Jewish?
Um, there's a rhythm there that's used by Jewish folk dancing and folk songs.
Uh-huh.
There's the scale or the mode, the Jewish mode that's I call the Ahava Rabbah,
Ah.
that's used in there. Well, basically it's like the melodic, no, the harmonic minor scale.
Oh, it's a beautiful scale.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Excellent.
except that you use that as you don't use it as the dominant, but use it as the tonic of the song
Uh-huh.
uh, at those parts. So you get like dee da da, but that is the tonic. That is not the
Ah,
dominant of. So
ex
that's
very
what
interesting.
makes it a Jewish mode. And I
Excellent.
combined ragtime characters of moving the melody and the harmony, and with the Jewish feel and rhythms, as you said.
Excellent. Well, let's give a listen to this then.
Thank you.
Let me ask you this. Is this written for four hands or did they just break it up that way?
Uh, it's written for four hands, but
It is, yeah.
it's my four-hand version of
Uh-huh.
the original piano solo.
So there is a piano solo version of this. I would love to see that. That's great. Yes, this is very nice.
Just write Schmate on YouTube, and Bar-Niv is my channel, so
Okay.
you'll get
Right
it.
up. Now, this is a kind of a mixed thing because on the one hand, it's really wonderful to have this 10-year-old playing this piece, but my understanding is also based and dedicated to your son, who unfortunately shy. You lost him at a young age. I think it was 13 or 15 to the flu, which is just some weird kind of complication from a simple flu, and it's just so sad. And in your autobiography, you talk about how you dealt with that in your life, and obviously, this is dedicated to him. And so, just I want to just mention that it's very sweet that you did this for him, and obviously, there's some other things you did as well. But anything else you wanted to share before I play this piece?
No, just play it.
Okay. Yes. So this is by this little girl. Now, did you know this girl? Is she also a student, or is this again one of those surprises?
No, she's from Australia and she won first prize in a USA competition, and she played this as a winner. She played this in Carnegie Hall in New York City.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, here we go. This is amazing. I just love, first of all, you base this on a Bach piece, which is beautiful. I wonder what she's doing
Yes,
now. This was a while back, right? She must be an amazing player at this point, I would imagine.
I am sure, but I have no knowledge of
Yeah,
what
yeah.
she's doing now.
I'll have to look
But
her up.
maybe
Savannah
I should
Lee.
have said before. I should have said probably before when you asked me. It's based on the Prelude Number One by Bach,
Right.
and I first wrote it not as a piano solo. I wrote it for my son for trumpet and piano, and he
Ah.
played the melody. He played
Mm,
the Bar-Niv part,
mm,
and the piano accompaniment was the first prelude by Bach. And then I figured this can make a very good etude for the left hand. So what I did is I put the entire first prelude by Bach into the left hand
mm,
alone,
mm.
and then the right hand was free to play the rest of the piece, which is by
I have to
me.
tell you.
So it's left hand Bach, right hand Bar-Niv.
I have to tell you that I would be proud to play that piece. I'm impressed that she's 10 years old and her technique is really pretty good. It was amazing to watch her in
Yes,
action. Yeah, excellent.
yes.
Excellent. So let's move on. I'm sorry we can't play all of each of these pieces, but this next piece is a Rhapsody. And let me just move this bar out of the way here. I apologize. Okay, Rhapsody in blue and white. This is you playing it. Now, this is my understanding is this incorporates three separate uh, Israeli pieces or Hebrew pieces. Is that true?
Yes, songs. There are songs. Hatikva is the Israeli national anthem that I
Hmm.
incorporated into it, and another folk song that's called Eliv Nagalil, ta 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 ta, and then a beautiful song from the Ladino, that's the Jewish Sephardic tradition,
Mm.
and I put them all together. It's not like three songs in a row. It's they're all mixed in like counterpoint, like different
Ah,
rhythms, like major goes into minor, and
wow.
it's a whole. For me, it's a whole story that Rhapsody in Blue and White. And
I love it.
obviously, you realize that blue and white means Israeli Rhapsody
The Israeli
because,
flag, right? The Israeli flag.
right,
Now, we can't
yes.
play all of this, but what we're going to do is we'll play a minute or two of you playing, and then we'll play the orchestrated version a minute or two into that piece. We're not sure it's going to line up, but I want to show both your piano as a solo and also as the orchestration. So we'll do a little of both.
And
Okay.
the orchestration, which I shouldn't forget to mention later on, is by
Mm.
Lindy Mayfield.
Ah, okay. Excellent. So this is Rhapsody in Blue and White, composed and played by you. Yes, thank you. I just love the technique. Oh my God. What a masterpiece. Okay, so we're going to go to the about a minute and 25 into it now. This is the orchestrated version of it with Lindy Mayfield. And we'll go, let's
Yes.
see. I have to tell you that I played violin as a kid. In fact, I played all the way through college, and in fact, MIT hired out Carnegie Hall. I played there
Uh-huh.
at one point,
Yeah.
and I just get chills when I listen to those arpeggios going up all the way up the keyboard. Oh, the violin! Oh my God, just amazing, amazing. I don't know how they even play those things. It's incredible, but just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I wish we could play
Thank
the whole
you.
piece. I want to encourage people, if
Thank
you go to
you.
SoundCloud, Lindy Mayfield, this is a beautiful version that Rami loves, and I love it too. So excellent. Well, moving on, my friend, let's go to Longing for My Father. Now, this is a song cycle you built. Let's tell us a little bit about this one, would you?
But this was the one that they asked me to write for the tour for Hungary, and then the tour was canceled, but the piece
Uh,
was there.
yeah.
And the poems were about the Holocaust, and
Mm. Mm-hmm.
so I I wrote seven. I chose actually the poet is Yaakov Barzilai,
Mm-hmm.
and I chose. He gave me many poems. He wrote a lot about the Holocaust. He
Mm.
survived the Holocaust as a child of 10, 11,
Oh
and
boy.
and I chose seven songs that had uh, were all about his father,
Ah,
and
yeah.
so I composed those and put them together into a cycle, and yes, then it got performed all over.
Oh, and
And
this is
then
wonderful. Yeah.
what you have here prepared is the orchestration I did for it for a small orchestra.
Mm-hmm. And this is part two.
Yeah, it's I think it's song number 4.
What a voice. What a voice. Oh my God. Let me ask you this. How do you, when you compose for an orchestra and the voice and all of that, what kind of, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of tools do you use? You don't do it all by hand, I assume, or do you?
When I started composing, of course, it was late in life, but I still didn't know of any music writing program.
Ah.
So everything was, paper and
Mm.
pencil and lots of drafts and stuff.
Yes, that's very impressive.
Uh,
A lot of work.
and uh, quite a few of my compositions were written like that. And
Mm. Mm-hmm.
actually, even later on, the initial actual writing was on paper,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started putting it into music writing programs by
Yeah.
myself, and publishing. By the way, I'm also a publisher of my own
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm also
I,
I also used to be my own record company. I used to put out my CDs and my DVDs, and I was a publisher. And yeah, so but composing. So as tools, yes. But for example, when I composed this 7 songs,
mm,
I was wondering, I was thinking to myself, how do I go about it so it's not all the same?
hmm
And I came up with this idea that I should compose every song, each song from a different point of view. I mean,
hmm.
of course, that the lyrics, the poems have, they inspire you, they give you ideas, but
Right.
still, I I was thinking like this. Let me do this song from a melody point of view. So I started thinking by the way of the melody. Then came another song, and I thought, oh, this one needs a background. This one, let me base this first on the harmony.
Wow.
And then came another one that called for rhythm to be dominant.
Mm.
So I addressed the composing from different angles, whether
Huh.
it's rhythm, harmony, scales. I even made up my own modes and scales at some
Oh,
points,
interesting.
and
Yeah.
and melody. So maybe this answers how I went about composing the song cycle.
Oh, that's very interesting. Let's go into the next piece, which let me just share the screen here. And this is Vocalese for trumpet. Now, we already heard a little bit of this with Savannah Lee playing, the 10-year-old, I believe, right? But this is a version
Correct.
for the trumpet. So we'll just play a little bit of this just to show
This
this is
is
something.
Yeah, this is the original
Mm.
version, and this is my son playing.
I was going to
His
say,
name
this
is
is your
Tal.
son, right? Yes, Tal. Excellent. It must be fun to have talented children.
Yes, it's his profession.
Yeah.
He's been principal player of the Beersheba Sinfonietta for many years now.
Oh, that must be wonderful. And that's just gonna be an amazing feeling. Congratulations. That's wonderful.
Thank
Hmm
you. But let me assure you, it's all very hard work.
Yes, I bet.
It's all, as the saying goes, 95% perspiration and
Mm,
5% inspiration.
inspiration, yes. Yeah. Now, this is inspiring. You actually had the equivalent of a Simon and Garfunkel in Israel pick up one of your tunes. Tell us a little bit more about this one.
Uh, they have various festivals in Israel where they devote it to different types of songs of singing.
Hmm
This was a festival that was devoted to Middle Eastern, Mediterranean song types.
hmm
And I wrote this song, composed it, and sent it in. And they chose it. And then they matched the singers to the song. And so that's how it came about. It was sung in this Middle Eastern Song Festival.
Excellent.
מנפיחי גניז ובשמה יבוא דודי לגנו ויאכל פרי מגדם אורית צפון ואיתהם מנפיחי גניז ובשמה אורית צפון ואיתהם מנפיחי גניז ובשמה יבוא דודי לגנו ויאכל פרי מגדם יבוא דודי לגנו ויאכל פרי מגדם צפון ובויתם מנפיחי גניז ובשמה יבוא דודי לגנו ויאכל פרי מגדם אורית צפון ובויתם מנפיחי גניז ובשמה אורית צפון ובויתם מנפיחי גניז ובשמה יבוא דודי לגנו ויאכל פרי מגדם יבוא דודי לגנו ויאכל פרי מגדם
Wow. That's got a real foot tapping thing, and I love it. Just really very beautiful, melodic.
Thank you.
So this next piece is Who is the Man? You want to tell us a little bit about the backstory on this one?
Well, who's the man who desireth life? This is from Psalms.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you see here and there, I wrote music to text from the Bible, and so this is this particular song. What I can say, this particular concert was enabled by ACUM, the Israeli Organization Association of Composers and Writers, and they honored me with this concert of all my compositions.
Oh, wow.
I mean, not all my compositions were in the concert, but the concert was all my music.
Wow.
And so I used my son on the trumpet and singer Sharon Dvorin to do my song cycle and other pieces, as you heard, and now this particular song, Miaish.
Excellent. Very nice. Very nice. You know,
Thank you.
I have to admit that one of the things I loved about your autobiography is that I learned a bunch of new things, including I had never heard Ravel's, I don't know how you pronounce this, Kaddish, um,
Kaddish.
Kaddish, just absolutely a beautiful tune. I read that you mentioned it in your autobiography, and I listened to it and said, "Oh my God, I can't believe I thought I knew everything by Ravel, but I did not know that piece." And that's just really beautiful. I also, you mentioned a lot of people in the book. You did a great job of cataloging all the places you've been, people you met along the way. Some people, of course, put you up. Some people help set up these camps that you have around the world. And I'm very privileged to know three of the people that you mentioned: Jerome Barry, Nancy Burstein, and Neil McKelvey are three people that I know. And you had,
Oh,
worked with them in some capacity, and some of them are your students, and just amazing, just an amazing coincidence there. So I'm very privileged to know those people. It's fun that you also know those as well. So anyway,
thank you. Thank you.
let's go to the next piece, which is in here. Let me just pull this up now. Interlude number 1 by June Armstrong. So tell me the backstory on this piece, if you would.
Well, this is more relaxed kind of piano lounge music.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, so I felt like doing some stuff like this on the lighter side.
that's wonderful.
Uh, so I wrote what I called 3 interludes,
Mm-hmm.
somewhat paraphrasing on Gershwin's 3 preludes.
Ah,
Uh, and also Gershwin has the 2 outer ones as the rhythmical ones and the middle one as the bluesy and slow one.
mm-hmm.
And my middle one is a fast one, and the
Ah,
2 other ones are more lyrical. So that, that's it. That's about
all
it.
right. So this is interlude number
A
1.
lot of people liked it, so a lot of people played it.
Oh, wonderful. Very nice. Very
That
nice.
that's June Armstrong, and she took some freedom. Of course, I told her I would love it, and she
Oh,
improvised a little on my
oh,
piece too.
okay. And how do you know
Yeah.
her? Have you met her, or is she one of your many people that you just know remotely? That
No, in recent years, in recent, who knows what, 25 years or
Mhm.
more, I know a lot of people cyberly,
Yeah,
not
it's amazing to
not
me how
face to
many.
face.
Yeah, and it must be a wonderful feeling when people play your music and they embrace it and they run with it. This has got to be an amazing feeling.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
it's always very rewarding.
Yes, yeah. So now you mentioned Gershwin, and I know you also played the Rhapsody in Blue. I think you did your own arrangement of Rhapsody in Blue. Um, what other composers influenced you, do you think? Who do you like to listen to, and who do you maybe emulate, would you say?
I love all good classical great composers, and they all influence me. They all influenced me, and sometimes to to the effect of actually kind of, copying somewhat style or
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But that's what music is. It evolves. It's like everybody's influenced by someone else and then creates his own thing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
But everybody, I loved and influenced by everyone, whether
Yeah.
it's Bach, Mozart, Beethoven, Chopin, Schumann, Brahms,
Mm.
Ravel, Prokofiev,
Yeah.
you name him.
Yeah. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. This last piece is by this woman, and she calls herself Chili Piano, but that's not her real name. And you've never actually
No,
physically met her, right? There's another
no,
one of your
but
cyber buddies.
right, and it's not her name; it's the name of her channel,
Yes. Yeah.
on.
Her name is Anna Setugina, I think.
Yes, and now she's married, and her name is Anna Heller.
Ah. Oh, excellent. Okay. So this is interlude number 3 by
Yes.
Anna. Let's listen to this. nice. Very nice. You know, I was just
Thank
looking at the
you.
Amazon. Amazon has so many things by you. The Art of Piano Fingering, by the way, which I own and love. Um, I'm just looking at Amazon. You've got traditional Hebrew songs, you've got jazz kids, Blood, Sweat, and Tours, the autobiography I just read, Rhapsody in Blue for piano solo, of course, three interludes. Let's see what else. Four piano rags, ragtime piano, three works for piano solo. Very just Shmata rag. So I encourage people to go. Even Jerusalem Symphony Orchestra. Oh my God, you got fun duets. Um, yeah, some very nice things
Yeah,
people
and
and
this is
Amazon directly. Yeah.
just the first page you're looking at.
Yes, exactly. Is there any other place people should go to buy your stuff, or is that the best place to go?
It's the best place, I guess.
Yeah.
There's I got stuff also as PDFs on Sheet Music Plus and Sheet Music Direct and
Hmm.
Arrange Me, and uh, basically these are the places.
Excellent. Well, I know that book, The Art of Piano Fingering, is a major reference that a lot of people use. In fact, Robert Finley, who's well known in this community on the Northeast and is also a travels the world and gives concerts and things. Asked me to borrow the book recently, so I know he's got it right now. So I'm tempted to just buy another one. I'm not sure I'll ever get it back. But how did you go about doing that? That was quite a work. It probably took you a few years to put that all together, I would imagine.
It did, but first it was a dream of about 10 or 15 years, just
Hmm.
and I never thought I would actually go and do it, but I kind of collected the material because every time I lectured or every time I taught master classes or met other pianists or various students around the world, I saw that there was something missing in the literature and in the understanding altogether.
Mm.
And so I dreamt about doing it. I collected material, and then finally one day I sat down and started doing it. And actually, when I did it, I kind of uh, reduced my concert performances so I could actually write the book and
Oh
finish
wow.
it.
Yeah.
And I had lots of questions of how to do it, which route to take. Should I only go to advanced, because I figured there's so much material around about basics. But then I
Mm.
said, how can I go to advanced if I don't lead to it from the basics, because I have
Mm.
my own ideas on the basics too.
Sure.
So, and there was one way, and there were other ways of how to approach it. And finally, I did it the way I did it, and it is, and it sold thousands. It's still selling every day.
Oh my God. Well, on behalf of all the many thousands of people that probably have read this book and love it, I want to thank you for all, on behalf of all of them, because that helps us all be better musicians. So thank you. Thank you for this hour. This has been wonderful, Rami. I really
Oh,
appreciate it. I'm so glad that we
thank
crossed
you.
paths and really appreciate your time in this interview. We'll be posting this over the weekend and actually, no, we'll post it after the interview, which is officially airing next Thursday at 7:30 our time here on the East Coast. And I know it's getting late there now. It's probably what 8:30 or so. So thank you for your time today. Really appreciate it. And
Oh,
thank you.
it's my pleasure, absolutely, and so much. I appreciate you having me on here.
Oh, my pleasure. And thanks for working with me on this. You know, we did some prep calls and that sort of thing, and I got to listen to a lot of your material and really loved it. I want to encourage everyone to go to the YouTube and listen to a lot of his pieces. They're all up there, and you can listen to them in their entirety, and they are well worth listening to. Thank you again, Rami. You have a great day and keep doing what you're doing. We'll be looking for you.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank
Have a
you.
great night. Take care.
Bye bye.